Hey everyone, Kyshira here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about how you can design your life for 2022. It is December. It is time to start thinking about the direction you want your life to go in. And I know every December we talk about goals and resolutions and things like that, but I firmly believe that you can decide at any point in time to take control of your life. So if you are interested in learning more about some of the tips that worked for me in doing this, please continue watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So before we get into how to actually set goals for the new year, it is so important for you to revisit what's already occurred in the current year. You can do this on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, but for the purposes of this video, we are talking about annually. And it's very easy to get caught up in what you didn't accomplish or what you didn't do, but we do want to revel in all of the goodness that did happen in this past year. So the very first step in this process is to do a whole audit of 2021. What went well for you? What were your wins, your successes, the unexpected blessings that came your way? Begin to document that. If you aren't already doing this on a regular basis, I highly recommend it. Maybe something you could try going into the new year is creating a gratitude jar where every time something happens, you write it on a post-it note or a scrap piece of paper, throw it in that jar, and whenever you're down, you can always revisit it. That's something that I did about 3 years ago. And I was trying to be really intentional about my gratitude practice. And now I just think about gratitude on a daily basis. It's a part of my morning journaling. I have one of those morning journals where there's a space for gratitude, which is also a great thing to do. But I want you to think about that. In addition to all of the great things, let's talk about the things that didn't go so well. And when you think about what didn't go so well, for everything you can think of, I want you to write a lesson learned from that. This is very much a big spin on if there's no failure, it's only lessons. Well, let's put that into practice, because in theory, we hear that and we can roll our eyes and say whatever. But when you're in the moment of that pain or the disappointment, it's hard to see that. But when you're 3 months later, 4 months later, you can actually reflect to say, hey, these are the red flags, or here's the things that I might have missed, or here's how I could make that, I don't know, application better for next time. I'm just kind of going through some of the things I could think of, but thinking about the lessons learned so you don't have to do that again, because I've recognized that whenever something doesn't go my way and I didn't learn what I was supposed to learn from it, that type of failure or disappointment or whatever continues to happen. So it's very important to pull those lessons learned. In addition, I want you to think about for this year, what drained you? There are some people, habits, experiences, I don't know, even household objects or whatever that need to stay in 2021. That need to be cut off, right? What are some of the things that drained you, that stressed you out, that really just wasn't serving of your highest good? This may mean you need to end some friendships. This may mean you need to cut off lines of communication with certain family members. You may need to declutter your home. You may need to downsize some of the stuff that you have. Like, you might feel like, you know, my home is supposed to be a place of peace, but it always stresses me out. I feel like there's too much going on and I always have to clean up and do this and do that. That may be a sign that you need to declutter. This is a great season to give back as well. So that could definitely be an opportunity for you. So that's the first step. Conduct an entire life in review. Then from there, we are now going to look at our life almost from the outside looking in, a 360 view, and we're going to evaluate each category. Now, follow me here. There is something called the Wheel of Life. This is primarily used by life coaches when working with their clients to figure out what areas they may need to work with them on. If you didn't know, I am a certified life and business coach. You can find free downloads of this on Google. You can pay for downloads of this over on Etsy. I'm going to actually insert an example on the screen that I found from Goal Muse. But a wheel of life basically divides up your life into different slices. And typically when we work with the life coach, they ask you to rate each area from 0 to 10. 10 meaning I'm at the highest level of fulfillment, 0 meaning I am not fulfilled by a long shot, not even a little bit, and you start to rate. And whichever has the lowest rating tends to be the thing that you want to focus on first. Now, when searching for Wheel of Life, I found a bunch of different options where some have more categories than others, some get way more specific, but the one that I have here, I think encompasses basically every area. You can always just draw this yourself as well, but I want you to go through this Wheel of Life exercise and honestly evaluate your level of fulfillment and satisfaction. So I am going to look off to the side here so that I make sure I read off all of the categories. But the first one, career and or business. If you work full-time or you're a full-time business owner or you're a little bit of both, rate that area. I want you to rate your health and wellness. For me, this was my 2021 focus. Health and wellness, like by a long shot, that was my top priority. Family and friends, love, learning, professional development, fun, spirituality, money, and environment. So when it comes to all of these areas, rate them, right? Because the reason why I want you to do this is I think that sometimes when we set goals, sometimes for some categories, we set the goals kind of out of thin air or based on what we see on social media. We tend to just be repetitive about old goals that we used to have just because it's on top of our mind, but it may not be something that we actually want anymore, nor will it. Sometimes we'll pursue goals that don't actually contribute to our overall happiness. We'll do all of this work, we'll get the goal, and then we're like, why am I not fulfilled? 9 times out of 10, this is why we're not fulfilled. We're not really thinking about our own hierarchy of needs. So let me know down in the comments. I have a question for you and I'd love to know. I shared earlier that for 2021, I prioritized my health and wellness. What area of your life did you prioritize this year? Was it career? Was it family? Was it money? What did you prioritize and what was a big win from that? So let me know down below. Now it's time to dream up our 2022. So the next step in this process that I highly recommend is for you to take some time to do some meditation. This doesn't need to be a long session and you can do it however you want. You can do it sitting in silence. You can do it with some music playing, preferably music without words, or you can even find a guided meditation. If you look for a guided one, try to find a visualization exercise. That will be the best thing for you because there is a prompt that I want you to follow. So if you've never meditated before, basically, like I said, you could pick either option, but you just want to get somewhere where you have peace, you will be uninterrupted. Try to do it for at least 10 minutes. Sit quietly if you can on the floor if that's uncomfortable for you. A nice chair, your bed is fine. When I sit on the floor, I like to have a pillow underneath my hips just to keep my back straight. And then just breathe in and out deeply. I like to breathe in for a count of 3 and breathe out for a count of 3. That keeps me focused in the meditation. And once you start to feel yourself just becoming calm and you're at peace, I want you to begin to visualize your dream year. It doesn't even have to be 2022, just your dream year. Like visualize yourself ending a year feeling completely unapologetically fulfilled and happy, and what all needs to happen. And I want you to do this without judgment, without fear, without limitations, without worrying about the how. Just what could you do without any limits, and sit in that vision. Honestly, if you love this as much as I do, try to do this on a regular basis. I don't do this every day, but I try to do this on a weekly basis just to get centered and remember why am I even in this grind, right? So I want you to just go into this meditation. I want you to pull all of these thoughts, all of these visions. And once you're done, I want you to sit in gratitude for at least a minute afterwards of all that is to come. Okay? I know it sounds crazy, but it does something to you, okay? And once you've done that, make sure you have a notebook nearby, because immediately after practicing that gratitude, I want you to write. I want you to write everything you saw, every vision, whether it's I started the business and hit $1 million a year. I bought my warehouse. I finally got a dog. I had a baby. I found my soulmate. I saved $20,000. I put a down payment on my house. I bought a new car. I no longer have this health crisis. I am faithful with going to the gym every day. Like whatever it is, just write it. But I want you to write it in the present tense. I want you to write it as if you already have it. This is called scripting, right? This is scripting. This is setting intentions. This is something that I do every month, actually in accordance with the moon schedule. I like to do this Whenever there's a new moon, I just write intentions and I write them present tense. Keeps me on a schedule, but write it as if it was already so. Again, there's just power in this. And what I did last year was I did this, but then I took each like basic goal that I had, whether it was like save $1 million, X, Y, and Z. That wasn't my goal, but just making it up. And I would take it and I would write it on my vision board. So I have a vision board that I'll show you, where in the middle of it, I basically typed up like my top 10 goals, present tense, and put them in the middle of the vision board. So that's something that you can do there. Write it all out. And after you've done that, and oh, by the way, don't write it as if it's a list. Just write it like it's a journal entry, right? It can be long run-on sentences, long paragraphs. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. Just getting it out. The goal is trying to capture everything you saw, getting it out, and if you feel so inclined, adding to it. Once you've done this part, review it and then pull out your goals for the year. If you can, try to set at least one goal for each category on your wheel of life. However, this is your life. This is your new year. If you say, you know what, I'm really just prioritizing health and my career because that's what I'm really focused on, then all of your goals can be there, girl. Like, no one's here to judge you. You define what this is for you. But for me, I like to at least set one goal. And they're not major over-the-top goals. Some of them can be accomplished in a day, in a week, in a month, whatever. But it does help me to just ensure that everything is just flowing like it needs to. And there are some areas in my life that will have multiple goals. And if you are a business owner, stay tuned because I have a video on goal setting for your business. It might already be up when this video is up. Just check my channel. If not, just subscribe and you'll see it when it comes out this month. So writing all of those goals down, and if you can, keep it somewhere where you will see it, whether that's in a planner, in your phone, on a post-it in the bathroom, on the vision board, wherever you want, writing those goals out. When you write the goals out, follow the SMART goal framework. Make it specific, make it measurable, make it actionable, make it realistic for you, and make it time bound, i.e. give it a deadline. So it's not, I want to save money in 2022. It's, I want to have $10,000 in my main savings account by December 31st, 2022. That's an example of a SMART, measurable goal that you can have for the new year. The last step here, if you are so inclined, is to create a vision board. I love vision boarding. I think it is so important to have a visual representation of your goals and desires. I have mine on a poster board that is, it's like if you walk into my room, it's like oddly placed, but to me it's perfect because I typically, mine is like next to my bed, on the wall by my bathroom door, but the way I sleep on my side and primarily on my left side. So typically when I wake up, the first thing I see is my vision board. So you can go ahead and do it old school with magazines and a poster board. I did mine by finding pictures on Pinterest, printing them out and putting them on poster board. You can do it completely digital on Pinterest, on Canva, and print it or have it on your phone as your desktop background, whatever works for you. And one tip, like I said, if you can, find a place somewhere on that board to put your actual goals. So that way you know what each picture represents. So if one of your goals for next year is to start a business or grow your business, keep up with me here on this channel. Make sure you keep your eye out for that goal setting video. If you have goals of working on your mindset, forgiveness, and releasing limiting beliefs, becoming more confident, I have a masterclass series, or not series, but a long masterclass and a couple of tools that goes with it. It's called Manifest Your Power. If you're interested in it and checking out the details, I'll have a link below. Make sure you check the description box because there is a discount code for just my YouTube subscribers that goes along with that. But it'll be a great class to watch as you get ready to go into the new year and begin stepping into the higher version of yourself. With that, if you have any follow-up questions, please comment them down below. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, check out my other videos, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.